welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor. Let's get you the headlines first. Massive aftershock hits Nepal and India after Saturday's earthquake. Over 2,000 people dead, thousands still missing. Rescue operation on to find more survivors. Prime Minister expresses solidarity with Nepal as India leads in rescue and relief operations. More flights sent with NDRF teams and relief materials. Over 1,000 stranded Indians rescued from Nepal so far. Hundreds of tourists from several countries yet to be evacuated. And over 60 people dead in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal in the earthquake. Centre and states announce compensation as relief and rescue ops intensify. Well, the massive earthquake that hit Nepal and northern India has left a trail of destruction as both the nations struggle to reach out to the victims. On the show this evening, we focus on the massive rescue and relief operation that is underway at the moment. Well, Nepal shook again along with the northern part of India on Sunday. Aftershock of 6.9 magnitude hit the already battered region, triggering panic among the people. While there are no reports of any major damage to the fresh aftershock, it temporarily suspended the rescue operation. Now the death toll to the quake yesterday is over 2,000 now, with many more still untraced.
A day after a massive earthquake shook Nepal and parts of India, another major aftershock has hit the entire region on Sunday. Measuring 6.9 on Richter scale, this was the biggest among the many aftershocks to hit the area. The epicenter of this quake was near Kodari in Nepal, which is around 115 kilometers from the capital Kathmandu. The Defence Ministry, which is helping with the relief and rescue operations in Nepal, suspended vehicular and air traffic after the fresh tremor. The Kathmandu airport was also shut down as the air traffic controllers were evacuated. The fresh tremor comes at a time when Nepal, with the help of other countries, is busy to find survivors after Saturday's major 7.9 magnitude quake. The scientists believe many more aftershocks will be experienced in coming days.
11:41 पे जो 7.9 का बड़ा भूकंप आया, उसके बाद में एक बड़ा आफ्टरशॉक 6.6 का रहा, लेकिन कई आफ्टरशॉक्स 5 या 5 के अधिक के भी रहे. तो मसला ये है कि चूंकि अभी ये और समय तक जारी रहेंगे, तो वो बिल्डिंग्स जो कि पहले से कमजोर हैं, वो सुरक्षित नहीं है.
The fresh tremor is expected to aggravate damages in the region. Many are still believed to be trapped under rubble after the quake on Saturday. Several people spent the night outside in camps or under the open sky in fear of another major tremor. With structures weakened by Saturday's quake, no one's taking any chances.
त्यहाँ पसलमा बस्दा बस्दै पसल गर्न गुरुमै पसल गाडी घर गर्न गुरुमै गेस भएको सबै गयो. त्यहाँ भागभाग भयो. रातभरि त्यो सितो चिप्चिसमा बस्यो, केरी च्यापेर. अब कता कता त्यहाँ मान्छे 4-5 जना मान्छे च्यापेर निकाल्न पाएन.
The death toll crossed 2,000 on Sunday, with thousands more injured. There were reports of several bodies strewn on the streets of Kathmandu a day after the massive quake. Many more remain untraceable. Thousands of others have been displaced by the series of quakes so far. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
An international aid is pouring in for Nepal, which is still grappling with the after effects of the massive quake. As rescuers continue search for people believed to be trapped under the rubble, the nation battles with lack of medical aid and food amid recurring aftershocks. Now, leading the international aid, India has deployed NDRF teams, several Air Force planes and helicopters to the rescue. Take a look.
The day after the massive quake shook Nepal, pictures of devastation became clearer this morning. Search operations to find more survivors has intensified since Saturday. Wearing face masks to keep out the dust from collapsed buildings, rescuers scrambled over mounds of splintered timber and broken bricks in the hope of finding survivors. India has stepped up efforts to help Nepal in the rescue and relief. Many hospitals in Nepal were damaged in the quake, affecting treatment to those injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed India's commitment to help Nepal after the region was shaken by intense quakes since Saturday.
हिंदुस्तान आपके दुख में आपके साथ है। तत्काल मदद के लिए चाहे हिंदुस्तान के जिस कोने में मुसीबत आई है वहां भी और नेपाल में भी सहाय पहुंचाना प्रारंभ कर दिया है। सबसे पहला काम है रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन, लोगों को बचाना।
He also chaired a high-level meeting after the massive aftershock on Sunday to take stock of the relief and rescue operation. Several NDRF teams with help from Indian Air Force aircraft and helicopters are pressed into service to look for more survivors and provide relief to the victims.
We expect to have 13 military aircraft go into Kathmandu. 4 of them are C-17s, 3 of them are C-130s, 4 of them are IL-76s and 2 of them are AN-32s.
Helicopters could not go because of bad weather. They had taken off from Gorakhpur. We'll increase the frequency tomorrow because जितना जरूरत है उतना सपोर्ट दे दें।
सर, आप हेलीकॉप्टर जो लैंड नहीं कर पाए उनका कल
बिकॉज ऑफ बैड वेदर, कल सुबह अगेन द मोर अरेंजमेंट फ्रॉम गोरखपुर।
नेपाल के बारे में ये मैं कहूँगा कि वहाँ हमारी 7 टीमें जा चुकी हैं, 3 अभी जाने वाली हैं। 2-3 घंटे में 3 और टीमें पहुँच जाएंगी। कुल मिलाकर 10 टीमें हमारी नेपाल में ऑपरेशंस कर रही हैं और हमारा सबसे पहला मैंडेट है कि वहाँ हम लोगों को, नेपाल के लोगों को किस तरह उनका सर्च करें, उनको रेस्क्यू करें और अच्छे सेफर सुरक्षित स्थानों पर पहुँचाएं। हम लोगों ने 3 जगहों में अपनी टीमें बांट रखी हैं। एक बख्तापुर जगह है जहाँ हमारी 3 टीमें हैं, एक ललितपुर है जहाँ हमारी 2 टीमें हैं और काठमांडू वैली में हमारी 2 टीमें कार्यरत हैं। और अभी रात में 15 लोगों को हम लोगों ने सुरक्षित स्थान पर रेस्क्यू करके लाया है।
आज सुबह 34 डॉक्टर और पैरामेडिक्स की एक टोली सुबह रवाना हो गई है। बाई एयर वो काठमांडू गए हैं और उसमें 10 ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन, 2 एनेस्थेटिस्ट और साथ में पैरामेडिक स्टाफ, ये सारे का सारा वहाँ पहुँच चुका है। 15 मेट्रिक टन दवाइयाँ यह भेजी जा चुकी हैं।
India had planned to fly 10 flights to Kathmandu on Sunday, which will carry more National Disaster Response Force teams, medical teams, engineering task force, water, food, blankets and tents. Other neighbors like China, Pakistan have also sent in teams to help Nepal in the hour of crisis. United States, Russia and Japan were also among the countries to have sent aid and rescue teams to Nepal. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And what really is happening at the Everest base camp? Well, as the rest of the Nepal grapples with the aftermath of the massive quake, the situation is tense and the communication is thin with the mountaineers at the Everest base camp. At least 22 people have been killed and over 200 are missing in quake-triggered avalanches. The rescue teams are making all efforts to get the injured out of danger and to treatment centers in Kathmandu. Many more climbers are believed to be stuck at the camps there.
Braving harsh weather conditions and the frequent tremors since the first quake on Saturday, hundreds of climbers at the Everest base camp were reported to be safe on Sunday. The first rescue plane that ferried out the severely injured climbers arrived in Kathmandu. But there are many more stranded at the base camp, which has been partially buried under the huge wall of snow after the avalanche. Sunday's massive aftershock also triggered a new series of avalanches. The communications with the climbers remain patchy. One of the Indian survivors at Mount Makalu, Arjun Vajpayee, posted videos from the camp, recounting the minutes when the ice roared through the camp.
Big pieces of ice just came down from this glacier today, and it didn't seem so good. It seemed a little scary. The weather doesn't seem to be getting any better here. It started snowing again. In the morning it got a little better. We got a little bit sunshine. We were able to establish connection with the people up on the mountain, and now everybody's down safe. Nobody's up on the mountain. Everybody's safe at ABC, but the weather doesn't seem to be getting any better, and the tremors keep coming here again and again.
At least 1,000 climbers, including 400 foreigners, were estimated at the base camp or on the ascent when the quake struck. Though most of them have reached the base camp, there is no way of knowing how many are still missing. It will be some time before all of these people can be evacuated as the route to the base camp is completely blocked by ice.
खास त अहिले त पाल जतासुकै उडाएछ खासै यति भन्ने फिक्स छैन कुनै छैन कुनै सब उडाइसक्यो उडाए भन्नाले एप्लायन्सले सबै उडाइसक्यो नि कहीँ छैन देख्दैन आँखाले देख्दैन
At least 22 climbers have been reported dead in the avalanche triggered on Saturday. A big cloud of rock and ice began on Mount Kumori, a 7,000-meter high mountain just a few miles from Everest, and gained strength as it headed down towards the base camp, flattening everything in its path. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And talking about the Indians there who have been stranded, well, 1,000 of them have been evacuated a day after a 7.9 magnitude earthquake hit Nepal. While 6 military aircrafts are operational in Kathmandu, India hopes to push the figure to 13 by tonight to ensure speedy evacuation. There will also be major evacuation through road, but there are several still stranded in Nepal waiting to be rescued. India has stepped up operations to rescue its nationals from earthquake-ravaged Nepal. So far, 1,050 Indians have been brought back from Nepal through defence and civilian aircrafts. The rescue operations were hampered today by an aftershock that measured 6.9 on the Richter scale. Among those rescued since Saturday night included many infants. Those rescued recounted their horror and thanked the government.
2 aircraft have been able to take off. One was of 237, which has landed already. One is of 266, which is on its way. There is one aircraft which is loading as we speak, which is of 130 people. We have a lot of Indians and citizens of other countries who are at the airport. We have to tell them to be patient.
The situation in Nepal today was scary. It was really very bad. And the Indian embassy in Nepal was fantastic. They were there to help. Indian Air Force, they sent a plane to evacuate us.
We waited for half an hour and Indian Air Force guys helped very nicely and he landed us here safely. I would like to thank the Indian government and as well as the Karnataka government.
The aircraft sent to Nepal would not just rescue Indians but citizens of other countries as well. This comes even as thousands of foreign nationals are scrambling to leave the earthquake-struck country.
From yesterday, 6 p.m., our flight was cancelled.
Yesterday we've been on Dachinkali, it's a temple in the south of Kathmandu, and the earthquake was also quite strong there, and everything was shaking. All people got into panic.
Meanwhile, India has also deployed 35 buses to move its stranded nationals out of Nepal.
We also hope that we will be able to get people out of Kathmandu by buses. We have been trying to confirm that the 2 road access to Kathmandu, one from the Raxaul Birganj side and the other from Sunoli Bhairava side, that these are open. To the best of our information, the roads are open, but the traffic is moving very slowly. It's clogged with vehicles.
An Indian mountaineering team has also been rescued from the Mount Everest. A 30-member team has been brought to the Everest base camp. An under-14 girls football team from India that was stuck in Kathmandu also returned safely on Sunday. The Ministry of External Affairs has set up a 24-hour control room to help Indians stranded in Nepal. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And India also experienced fresh aftershocks on Sunday. The series of earthquakes on Saturday has left more than 60 people dead and injured in hundreds. The centre has taken up rescue and relief operations to help the affected states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. The damage caused by the quakes on the Indian side is still being assessed.
Fresh aftershock on Sunday triggered panic among the northern states. The 6.9 magnitude aftershock that hit Nepal was felt across the northern India, spanning from Chandigarh to as far as Kolkata in the east. Though there are no reports of any loss of life or property yet, metro services in Delhi and Kolkata were shortly suspended following the tremor.
हाँ कल के जैसा ही था अब सही माप तो हम लोग नहीं बता पाएंगे लेकिन काफी तेज झटका था और जैसा कि हमने आज अखबारों में भी देखा था कि 2-3 दिन तक अभी इस तरह की संभावनाएं बनी हुई है झटके आने की और लोगों को सावधान रहने की जरूरत है।
तो कल का हम लोगों ने थोड़ा सा आभास किया है, थोड़ा मन में उस तरह से हम लोगों को ये था कि कभी भी आ सकता है, इसलिए उतना भय नहीं था। तुरंत हम लोग जो है घर से बाहर निकले जो है, लेकिन फिर भी भय तो बना हुआ है।
Over 60 people, mostly in Bihar, were killed since Saturday. Hundreds were reported to be injured in the tragedy. Most deaths were due to wall and building collapse. Sitamarhi, East Champaran and Darbhanga districts were among the worst affected. The government has announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees for the families of the deceased. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is monitoring the situation himself and has issued directives to ensure timely relief for those affected.
उत्तर प्रदेश और बिहार के दोनों राज्य जहां पर की बड़ी क्षति हुई है, उनके मुख्यमंत्रियों से भी बात की है और उनके प्रति भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने तुरंत ये फैसला कर दिया कि हम अपनी बस भी नेपाल के लिए भेजेंगे, ताकि जो भी काठमांडू से दूर दराज भी जो फंसे हुए हैं लोग, सारे ऐसे टूरिस्ट इस बस के माध्यम से आ सकें।
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has directed government officials to carry out relief work for the affected on a war footing. Meanwhile, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee was on tour in Siliguri, one of the worst hit parts of the state.
जो फरवरी और मार्च में ओलावृष्टि और इस प्रकार से फसलों का जो व्यापक क्षति हुई थी, जिसकी सूची बन गई है और जिसके लिए राशि का भी आवंटन किया जा चुका है, तो इन सारे कार्यों को वहां देखेंगे कि राहत कार्य युद्ध स्तर पर और सुचारू रूप से चलाया जाए। तो सारे हमारे माननीय मंत्रीगण अपने प्रभार के जिलों में कैंप करेंगे, प्रभारी सचिव अपने प्रभार के जिले में कैंप करेंगे।
कि झटके नहीं कहेंगे, इसको हम आफ्टर शॉक्स कहते हैं। लोगों को अलर्ट रहने की आवश्यकता है। ठीक है, रात हमारी बीत गई, रात में हम लोग ज्यादा चिंतित थे कि अगर उस समय आएगा तो क्या करेंगे।
এবং আমি সিস্টারদের নিজেও বলেছি, যেহেতু এইসব এমার্জেন্সির সময় বেশি পেশেন্ট আসতে পারে, আরো মানে বেড করে রাখার ব্যবস্থা করেছি এবং তাছাড়াও এখানে যারা ডাক্তার বা সিস্টাররা আছেন তারা একটু বেশি বাড়তি সময় দিয়েও কাজটা করছেন, কারণ এটা তো খুব মানবিক ব্যাপার এবং সবাই মিলেই করছেন।
The central government's crisis management committee, headed by Cabinet Secretary Ajit Seth, is holding regular meetings to keep a watch on the situation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, we'll be getting minute-by-minute update on all the relief and the rescue operations in Nepal. Also, we'll be telling you about the condition of Indians who are stranded there. And right now, we'll take a very short break, but we'll leave you with these visuals from Puri, where artists have paid tribute to the massive tragedy with sand arts. Take a look.
India's star shining in global affairs.
The professional army of any country does not have faith, piety and jihad in the name of God.
From regional power to assertive global leader.
Sri Lanka denies that these violations took place.
We want India to be a superpower. We have been doing everything for decades and we have been giving to India everything best we have.
Experts debate the nation's foreign policy.
We should not have any political preference of ours so far as Nepal is concerned.
Taliban were the creatures of Pakistan. Whatever people may say, they were created by Pakistan.
India's World with Bharat Bhushan on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back to News Tonight. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed his popular radio program Mann Ki Baat on Sunday. He said he was anguished by the series of national disasters over the past few weeks, including unseasonal rains, which has led to crop damage and farmer suicides across the country. Last week, a cyclonic storm in Bihar also killed over 50 people, besides the earthquake that struck the state along with the entire northern India. Modi also regretted the continuance of manual scavenging and sought cooperation of the society in order to resolve to get rid of the profession. He also lauded the accomplishments of Indian women players Saina Nehwal and Sania Mirza.
आज भी हमारे देश में कुछ परिवार हैं जिनको सर पे मैला ढोने के लिए मजबूर होना पड़ता है। क्या हमें शोभा देता है कि आज भी हमारे देश में कुछ परिवारों को सर पर मैला ढोना पड़े? मैंने सरकार में बड़े आग्रह से कहा है कि बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर जी के पुण्य स्मरण करते हुए 125वीं जयंती के वर्ष में हम इस कलंक से मुक्ति पाएं।
And in other news, Lok Sabha is likely to take up the GST constitutional amendment bill tomorrow. The bill was earlier moved in the House on Friday for consideration amid stiff resistance by several opposition parties. Now, Congress, led by Sonia Gandhi, along with those of TMC, Left and NCP, staged a walkout after their plea for referring the bill to the standing committee was not accepted. Meanwhile, the government also asserted that it will go ahead with the land acquisition bill amidst strong protests. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Venkaiah Naidu said that the bill should not be politicized as opposition parties continue to term it anti-farmer.
The suicide of Sri Gajendra Singh has nothing to do with the Land Acquisition Act. There is no question of government doing any rethinking on the Land Acquisition Act. The government feels that this act is in the interest of the farmers, in the interest of the development. Farmer suicides are a long-term issue. It's a deeper issue. It's a very sensitive issue. The entire society has to apply its mind. The government at the center and the state and all the political parties should come together to find out some long-term solution to this problem.
And more news from across the nation in Nationwide. On his maiden visit to Assam, as BJP President Amit Shah promised Indian citizenship for Hindu refugees from Bangladesh if BJP comes to power in the state. Assam is set for assembly polls next year. Addressing a public meeting in Guwahati today, Shah called on the people to free Assam from Congress's 15-year rule and hand over the reins to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for overall development of the state. The Income Tax Department has published names of 31 tax evaders who owe over 1,500 crore rupees tax to the government. Some of the big names on the list include Hyderabad-based Totem Infrastructure, Pune-based Patheja Bros Forging and Auto Parts Manufacturing Company, Hyderabad-based Royal Fabrics and Mumbai-based Home Trade. The government had earlier gone public with names of a set of 18 tax defaulters who owe over 500 crore rupees to the IT department. A major fire broke out at a shopping mall in the New Market area in Kolkata on Sunday. 18 fire engines were rushed to the spot to douse the flames, which was suspected to have been caused by a short circuit inside the godown of the mall this morning. However, there were no casualties reported. On to some international news. Well, the 26th ASEAN Summit kicked off today with foreign ministers of 10 ASEAN member states gathering in Malaysia's Kuala Lumpur to discuss the future development of the group. The foreign ministers of ASEAN urged China to stop reclamation in the disputed waters in the South China Sea and engage in a discussion. Recent satellite images suggest that China has made rapid progress in building an airstrip suitable for military use in contested territory in the Spratly Islands in the South China Sea and may be planning another. Well, at the start of the summit, the foreign ministers sent their condolences to the people of Nepal and the surrounding nations affected by the earthquake that was hit on Saturday.
The ASEAN member states want to see that these matters to be settled amicably because it does affect not just the claimant states but ASEAN as a whole. Because we are in this region, if there's any instability in the region, then even those non-claimant states will be affected.
And protesters rallied in Baltimore today expressing their anger over the police shooting of a black man named Freddie Gray. The protesters were confronted by the police that led to some scuffles as well. At least 12 people were arrested after the protest turned violent.
Protests in Baltimore intensified on Sunday, with thousands holding demonstrations against the death of a man in police shooting a week ago. The protest turned violent, with some protesters smashing police windows and shop fronts. Police arrested at least 12 people in the latest agitation against police brutality in the U.S.
I think the longer that they drag this investigation out, the people are going to be more inclined to think that they're going to cover this up again, like they've been doing a lot of other homicides or police-related homicides of black unarmed men and black unarmed women in this country.
The previous incidents in Ferguson, Missouri had police using paramilitary tactics that only aggravated the protests further. But police commissioner claims the recent killing was a result of being denied timely medical attention.
We know he was not buckled in the transportation wagon as he should have been. No excuses for that, period. We know our police employees failed to get him medical attention in a timely manner multiple times.
A preliminary report from the medical examiner's office has been received, but the final official report is still awaited. The victim, Freddie Gray, was arrested by the Baltimore police on 12th of April. He had suffered spinal injuries after the police apprehended him following a foot chase. Police had arrested Gray on suspicion when he fled from a high-crime area and was caught carrying a knife. 6 Baltimore police officers have been suspended in the Gray case, and an internal police investigation is underway. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more news from across the globe in Global Buzz now. Fresh clashes erupted between Houthi rebels and the government forces in Yemen's Aden and Taiz. Now, Saudi-led coalition warplanes continue to target the positions of the Houthis and Saleh loyalists despite announcing an end to the air campaign. Former President Ali Abdullah Saleh has called on all Yemenis to find a way to end the conflict. However, there has been no consensus on the terms for the negotiations. The New York Times has reported that Russian hackers who gained access to the White House computer system last year were able to read President Obama's unclassified emails. However, White House says that no classified networks were compromised. The hacking in October last year led to a partial shutdown of the White House email system. Voters in Kazakhstan turned out in big numbers on Sunday for the presidential election. President Nursultan Nazarbayev is heavily touted for another 5-year term after ruling for the last 26 years. His two opponents are both seen as pro-government. Elections had been due in the 2016, but President Nazarbayev announced that they would be held a year early. Ash from Chile's erupting Calbuco volcano triggered cancellation of domestic and international flights in several cities. A sleeping giant for more than 50 years, the volcano sprang to life on Wednesday and has been puffing more fire and ash since then. The ash has blanketed southern Chile in volcanic debris and has forced 6,500 people living in nearby areas to evacuate. Ash and smoke also reached southern Brazil. And time now for all the sporting action in Sports Beat. Indian batsman Rohit Sharma has been recommended for Arjuna Award for this year by the BCCI today. The decision came after the BCCI working committee met. Rohit Sharma has played 129 one-day innings so far with an average of 39.43. He holds the record of highest individual ODI score. He also holds the unique record of the only ODI batsman who scored 2 double hundreds. The BCCI Working Committee expressed its desire to appoint former cricketers Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly and Rahul Dravid as advisors on all cricket-related matters. The board also wants the former cricketers to advise on the appointment of the new Indian team coach who will replace Duncan Fletcher. Now, Fletcher's contract with Team India has ended after the conclusion of ICC World Cup 2015, which was co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand earlier this year. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach arrived in New Delhi today. He is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow to discuss ways to take Indian sports forward amid speculation that the country might bid for 2024 Olympics. The IOC chief also met the Executive Committee of the Indian Olympic Association. Defending champion Kei Nishikori took just 77 minutes to beat Martin Klizan of Slovakia in straight sets to reach the final of the Barcelona Open. Nishikori defeated the big serving 14-seed Klizan 6-1, 6-2 with accurate shots and change of pace. The Japanese player is looking for his 9th ATP World Tour title on a clay court where he excelled. Well, that's all in this edition of News Tonight. Thanks for watching and good night.